the world.
Question number 5, the Honourable Lianne Dalziel.
Speaker, my question is to the Minister for Canterbury Earthquake Recovery and asks, which of the assets identified by CERA in response to his request has he ruled out, asking Christchurch City Council to sell?
The Honourable Amy Adams.
On behalf of the Minister for Christchurch Canterbury Earthquake Recovery, as I've already made clear in my answers to question 2 today, I have received advice from Treasury and CERA which considers the financial position of the Christchurch City Council in the context of their ability to meet their rebuild obligations. These reports do not consider the sale of individual council assets and do not recommend the sale of any assets. Instead, the advice suggests that the Christchurch City Council should consider all of their options to fund their share of the rebuild.
The Honourable Lianne Dalziel.
Speaker, when was the Christchurch City Council first advised of the specific details of the council's anchor projects that they would have to fund themselves, and what the Mayor has called the gap between what the council can afford and what is outlined in the government's plan?
The Honourable Amy Adams.
On behalf of the Minister for Canterbury Earthquake Recovery, I can't give the member the specific date, but what I can tell the member is that we have been working with the Christchurch City Council comprehensively through the development of the blueprint and the plan, and furthermore that the Council is very well aware that the assets identified as anchor projects in the plan have been blocked for location, with a clear understanding of all parties that each one of those assets, be they centrally led assets or civic assets, will now have to go through a specific design process, and it is through that design process that final costings will become known.
The Honourable Lianne Dalziel.
What was the reaction of the Council when he met privately with the Christchurch City Council on the Thursday before the public announcement to tell them the news, and when they told him that it was going to cost them another $1 billion?
The Honourable Amy Adams.
Mr Speaker, on behalf of the Minister for Canterbury Earthquake Recovery, I can't advise, as I wasn't physically present at the meeting. What I can tell the member, though, is that the Christchurch City Council has acknowledged to us that it is entirely reasonable that the government would want them to demonstrate that they have considered all of their options when it comes to funding of the projects that they are responsible for, and that the government is correct in expecting that they would demonstrate that before they were to seek any additional funding from the government.
The Honourable Lianne Dalziel.
Can the Minister confirm that when he met with the Council on the Friday, he was able to give them a reassurance that the difference was not the $1 billion that they had been advised the night before, but he'd managed to get it down to $100 million? And what is the gap that the Christchurch City Council is expected to fund?
The Honourable Amy Adams.
On behalf of the Minister, can I reiterate once more that the final costings for these assets is a long way from determined, and won't be determined until we go through a process of final design specifications and costings for each asset. The member should be aware that when we launched the blueprint, it was made very clear that it was a matter of identifying the locations for key assets, not the design of them, not the final configuration of them, and not the costings for them. The discussions we've had with Council have focused on the fact that government will certainly take the lead in the replacement of central government facilities, and we expect the City Council to be the lead agency in the delivery of the civic assets that are part of that plan.
The Honourable Lianne Dalziel.
Why did the government announce the specific projects that will be civic assets when they hadn't even discussed them or the costings with the Christchurch City Council before they made the final decisions?
The Honourable Amy Adams.
On behalf of the Minister, I reject that entirely. The CCDU that compiled the blueprint was made up of a collaboration of CERA officials and Christchurch City Council officials, and the point was made repeatedly at the launch that the Christchurch City Council had been intimately involved in the formation of the plan, and they are well aware of the proposals to the extent of listing contributions to their contributions to them in their annual plan. So to suggest that they had no idea that they would be called upon to fund them is simply wrong.
Point of order, the Honourable Lianne Dalziel.
Mr Speaker, and I know it's difficult because the Minister isn't the Minister who would normally be answering the question, but it has been made clear in the public arena that the officials that were seconded to the CCDU were sworn to secrecy. They had to sign a gagging order in order to...
Order. This is not a matter of order in this House. The member asks questions and has received answers, and I can see that some of the answers have surprised the member asking the questions, but that's what asking questions and getting answers about, and the point of order is not a valid point of order. I'll hear further from the member.
I'm not trifling with the chair. I'm just trying to get an understanding because I use the phrase Christchurch City Council, but I'm referring to the council, not to staff members that are seconded. And I just wonder whether the question's been answered in the context that it was given.
Well, on my listening to the answer given, I believe the question had been answered. I could see the member was surprised by the answer given. But an answer to the question was given. The member does have further supplementaries, though, to pursue the matter should it be of paramount importance to sort that detail out, but it can't be done by way of point of order. Question number 6, Katrina Shanks.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.